Hey guys, I try to record these things so my kids are not in the house. It's a complete distraction if they are, so I try to do this like before they even get home. But anyway, I guess the rest of my story. I left off at my childhood. I got about 30 minutes tops. But I left off at my childhood, you know how jacked up things were. Like I said, I don't blame my mom necessarily because, you know, she was a kid when she had us. But her husband is evil, and I still think that to this day, because he's still that same person to this day. And I feel like, you know what I mean? My dad was kept from me. Not giving my father a pass at all, who I have no relationship with whatsoever, because I feel like if you're a parent and a mom is making it really hard for you to see your children, no matter what, you fight through that. Even if you got to go to court and get, like, you know what I mean, joint custody, so that both of you guys together can, like, you know what I mean, raise those kids. Y'all don't have to be under the same roof to actually raise some kids. You can still be there. So, you know, he would give me that you know what I mean, your mom kept me away from you, or whatever excuse. I don't even care about the excuse. The only thing that needs to be coming out of your mouth really is, I'm sorry, I fucked up. You're right, I should have tried harder, because that's what you should have did, period. But anyway, aside from that, the first toxic relationship that I got into, I chuckle because, you guys, what I have been through, like what I have experienced, is not normal. That's why I'm telling my story, because I don't know what you guys are going through. You guys can be probably thinking it's normal. Like it was so normal to me when I would say something in front of somebody would be looking at me like, what? I know you playing. So I'll get to the deets about it. But anyway, the first toxic relationship I've been in, I was in high school. I think my whole family moved to Georgia. And I stayed in North Carolina because I was in love, high school love. Really, really in love. Well, I thought so anyway. And you know, you be watching those Lifetime movies and you be like, that is never gonna be me. It's not gonna be no way in the world. I'm gonna be that girl that's getting beat on and keep going back. I'm not that dumb. You have to be in that situation, literally. You cannot speak on nothing unless you are physically in that situation. But I was in that situation. I was that Lifetime girl. I was in a relationship. I've never been in a committed relationship before until, you know, when I was in high school. I was in that committed relationship. And I thought it was love. And honestly, it was toxic already, because I loved him more than I loved me. And that's not ever normal in no relationship. I didn't know that, of course. But you know, my family moved, and you know, I had to lie to my mom and tell her that I was staying with my homegirl, but I really wasn't staying with my homegirl. I was really staying with the guy that I was in love with. We both got a apartment together, literally right across from my friend's house. But 3 years. I held on to that one for 3 years. And I'm starting to realize that I can tolerate a lot of shit. Now, 2023, I'm not tolerating shit. You fuck up, I'm out. Period. I do not play that. That is my role model for now on. Literally. You in my energy and yours is fucked up? Bye. Like, I don't need any of that extra shit. But anyway, I tolerated a lot back then. I was with him for 3 years, and everything was good until he got this jealousy problem. I was hanging out with my homegirl, and we would always hang out, and I would have my own money, and I would buy something, but I would come home and tell him that my homegirl got it for me, because I don't want him to be like, well, you spending money recklessly. My bills was paid. I mean, he paid the rent, and I just paid the utilities, but my bills was paid, but I felt like he was still going to judge me, which he did. So I just stopped doing that. I was just like, hey, tell him, you know what I mean, that I'm just going to tell him that you bought this for me. Now he's like, well, she buying a lot of stuff for you, which y'all fucking. really? I'm like, you can't possibly be serious. I'm not gay. Are you serious? Yeah, I mean, she's buying a whole lot of stuff for you. I'm in a whole relationship with you. Really? But nevertheless, he just had a control problem and he couldn't keep his hands to himself. But I think that's all of them having a controlling issue. But yeah, one time we got into this heated argument and he put his hands on me. I want to say he grabbed me up, which I had a bruise on my arm, by the way. He grabbed me up and started like, you know, like, I'm gonna fuck you up. But I was just like, this is not happening right now. So right after he did it, he switched back to this person and he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I love you. He has never said I love you to me before. So when I heard the words, I love you, I'm like, well, he said he loved me. Maybe he didn't mean it. Maybe he didn't mean nothing by it. So I'm just going to forgive him. I didn't tell anyone. I wasn't close with my sisters like I am close to them now. We just kept, you know what I mean? I forgave him. I didn't tell anyone. And then he got mad again. And then next thing you know, I was getting stomped on the floor. Literally. I don't think I was really fighting him back because I was just like, I can't beat him. Nowadays, you can get it. I want all the smoke. Well, I don't want the smoke. But nowadays, but back then I wasn't fighting him. I was literally trying to stop it, more so like blocking it, if anything. Dang, that just brought me down memory lane. But yeah, he was thumping me on the floor. If I did something that he didn't like, he would put me out the house in my PJs, got me banging on the door. Open the door. Everyone is looking at me in the neighborhood. And he's just like ignoring me. And he opens the door when he feels like it. Or like when we, and honestly, that last straw for him, because, you know, we was fighting and I was crying and he would be taking my phones and throwing them against the wall and breaking them. My family started realizing, like, what's going on with Melissa? Every time we talk to Melissa, her phone is always broken. Something's always wrong with her phone. Like, then they started questioning stuff. And I couldn't hide it then. But he would just break my phone. He probably broke about 10 of them. Just slammed it, grabs my phone and just throws it against the wall. When I did something or when I said something that he didn't like or he wasn't feeling. But yeah, it wasn't bad the whole 3 years. I want to say that last year is when it got rough. And I remember telling myself, I told my stepsister, I let her in. And I was like, I can't live like this. Like, I feel like every single time we're fighting, like he's always in my face. He's always trying to get one up on me. He's always probably stomping on me. Like I'm literally like, he's just this different person. He just snaps. And she was like, girl, you gotta fight. She was like, just fight him back. He called the cops on you, call the cops back on him. She was like, you literally just gotta fight. Stoop down to his level. And we're talking to each other and we're having this conversation. And I'm thinking it's normal, but it is not normal. It is never normal to stay in an abusive relationship physically, which is 10 times worse than all the other abuses, even though they're all on the same level. But it's 10 times worse when you're actually getting stomped into the ground and your stepsister's like, girl, you better take it. Stoop down to his level. He put you in the jail, put him back in jail. Who wants to live that life? Literally. But I took her advice and I was like, all right, I'm just going to fight him back. But we talking to each other like it's normal. It's not normal, but that's how we were raised. We were raised in a house like that where, you know, someone's getting stomped into the ground and then the next day they all lovey-dovey. But then that shit is happening again. And then it's repeated. You know what I mean? So we just thinking it's completely normal and it's not. So, I think it was the last straw that happened was because my sister found out and she was in North Carolina and then she started snooping around and then she was like, come on, nope, come on. Like she was there, like, and she would be like, come on, let's go. Ain't nobody about to stop you either. Like, Because he was controlling. He didn't want me going anywhere. I just had to be bound to the house, basically. But honestly, when you in an abusive relationship and people was telling you and giving you all this good advice, she's not gonna leave. He is not gonna leave, because that person has to physically be fed up. You can give me all the advice in the world, it's just gonna go in one ear and right out the other. I have to be physically ready to get up and walk away. I have to be physically tired, drained. Enough is enough. I had to be at that point. And I was at that point, that breaking point, because, it's North Carolina. It's really, really small. Everybody be on the block. Like, the entire block is packed. Probably about, 20, 30 people on it. You just be chilling on the block. And I was chilling on the block one day, and I was hanging out with my homegirls, and I remember him going, "You acting funny." What? I guess because we had just left the house together. You're over there with your boys, I'm over here with my girls, and I'm acting funny. How? Because I didn't come cuddle under you? You gotta be kidding me. So I was like, what? Okay, because I already knew it was going to be an argument, and I'm not arguing in front of a bunch of people. I'm not about to do that. So he's like, "You acting funny," and I'm like, wow. So I walk away, and it's a lot of people on the block. Did I mention that it was like 20, 30 people on the block? So he goes, "Give me my key." Now, mind you, okay, both of our names are on the lease, okay? He's paying the rent. I'm paying utilities. I'm guessing you a whole man and you think because you're paying the actual rent, you can control me? I'm not even gonna say most guys think that way. He thought that way. So I was just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like, I can't. So I'm with my homegirl, and I'm like, come on, we gotta go. So I'm jumping in the vehicle, and I'm taking off because I'm like crying, humiliated. Like, you embarrassed me in front of everyone talking about something. Give me my key. I went straight to her house, and I told you we was right across from her house. So we go next door to his house, my house technically, his too. And I get all my shit. Because, I don't have a lot of stuff. You can keep all the furniture. Just give me all the rest of my shit. So I go in there, and I'm packing my clothes, and I'm doing this fast because I'm like, come on, hurry up, because we got to do this before he get here. I don't want to argue, and I don't want him to stop me from leaving. So I'm packing all my shit up, literally packing all my shit up. I got my utensils, my dishes. I remember that shit because I bought that, and I wanted it, and I don't care if that was petty. But we packed all my stuff up, and I run across the street to her house, back to her house. So I hear him pull up because now I'm looking out the window because I know he's coming. So we looking out the window, and he pulls up, and he's with his homeboys, and I hear yelling because I left the key on the table because I'm out. Like, I'm not about to sit in an abusive relationship. It was easy then, okay? It was easy then. Walking away is the easy part. It's the after effect is what hit me. So I got all my shit, and I called my mom, and I was like, "You're right. I wasn't staying with my homegirl. I was really staying with him. I need to get back to Atlanta. I'm ready to come to Atlanta with you guys. Like, I don't want to be here anymore." So she arranged for someone to come get me, and I'm in Georgia, and I'm hurting. Like, he didn't disrespect my sister, like literally going back and forth, calling her B that. I don't even know if he called her a B. You disrespected her. Like, and I was just, I wasn't okay with it. I was mad about it, but it wasn't a boundary put up. It was never a boundary put up, but it doesn't even matter because now I'm like, he's pissed off at me. My sister's mad at me because I allowed this nigga to disrespect her. Like, I'm just like all jacked up. So eventually, you know what I mean? I talked to my sister. We squashed everything. I don't even know if she forgives me to this day, but I truly hope she really forgave me. But, and I just left him. I did go back and forth, trying to figure out what he was doing because a lot of people was calling me like, "Yeah, he got a bunch of girls coming in and out of the apartment." And I was hurt. Yeah, I did leave, but it's not like it's not gonna hurt because it hurt. And I went back to North Carolina. And I popped up on him, and he kept saying, "You gonna make me do something I don't want to do." And I popped up on him, and me and my homegirl, she was like already a firecracker. Me and my homegirl went over there to the house, and we opened the door because she finally get her boyfriend to open the door. Like, "Hey, I got you the cell phone, I bought it." And his dumb ass opened the door. Anyway, so he opened the door and she just charges at his ass and the girl that he's sleeping with, because apparently they got two girls in the house with them. My guy, well, my ex is at work and this other girl is in the house and she attacking this girl. My first instinct wasn't to attack this girl. Like, I'm about to beat her ass, but I'm not about to do it right now because I refuse to fight over a nigga. I'm gonna ask her, did she know about me? Now, if you know about me, I'm gonna fuck you up, period. But she was like, no. I walked straight up to her and I was like, did you know about me? She was like, no. Because most of the time in situations, the female has no idea about the other girl. The guy literally lies his way into her pants. So I was like, did you know about me? She was like, no. I was like, he didn't say nothing about having no girlfriend or nothing about having a girl. And she was like, no. Because we were trying to work things out, which I'm glad we didn't, because obviously God showed me, girl, he ain't worth it. So after that, I drove 3 hours back home. I cried the entire time in the car, and I probably stayed in the room for about 2 weeks until my mother came in the room and was just like, listen, you got to get up and you got to get out, go find a job, go take a shower, go do something with your life. And that's what I did. I got up, I took a shower, I went to go fill out some applications, but I didn't have a vehicle, so on my way to walk in, it was a lot of cars beeping at me, and I was like, okay, I guess I can do this. But when you're in a relationship, when you're in that type of relationship and that guy is treating you the way that he's treating you, your self-esteem goes like really, really, really low. So these guys beeping at me, I'm like, it's building my self-esteem. And not that I need that to continue on my journey, but it felt good. It was a boost. And I was walking home one day, going back to my mom's apartment, and this guy stopped me. He actually lived in the same neighborhood, and he was fine. And he had a truck, and he asked me, did I want to ride? He asked me, did I want to ride the first time, and I said no. Then he caught me walking in the neighborhood again the next time, and I was like, no. Then he seen me the third time, and I was like, all right, fine. And he was like, I don't bite. So I jumped in the car with him. And from there, that me jumping in the vehicle with him and having that conversation with him, we actually started talking for a little bit, and that lasts for 3 years, and that shit was also toxic. So next story that I come with, I'm going to tell you all about the second guy that was toxic for me, and that was a waste of space in my entire life. But because the first one was too. I mean, I don't have kids by them. So it was a waste. Well, no, honestly, I can't even say anybody was a waste, because you learn. But I really don't even think I learned from the first guy, because I jumped right back into a toxic ass relationship. Well, not even a relationship. I jumped right back into a toxic ass situation. But my next take after, I come back on, I'm going to share with you guys that toxic story. The third one is what's gonna blow your mind, because the shit that I took from that, you probably like, baby, are you okay? I just want to know if you're okay. But yeah, so that's that, and that is my time, and I guess I will see you guys the next one that I post.